upon a modern time in a little cul-de-sac. Black characters from myth and rhyme decided to come back. They moved into a cuter house, they bought a boat and car. They got a job, they got a spouse, they're ready to go far. This modern life, with all its strife, is wilder than before. You won't forget the day you met the Fables next door. You won't forget the day you met the Fables next door.
Crimson skies are rifted opens. Dimensions clash, God was chosen. Ancient powers they awaken. Heroes rise, no time forsaken. Armored titans, chaos breaking. Light and darkness, faith unshaken. Warriors from realms colliding. On this battlefield they're riding. Supernovas, worlds are crashing. Thunder roars with blades they're clashing. Raising arms, no hesitation. This is war of biblical proportions. Fire serpents breathing terror. Angels weep from Mandela. Mystics, sorcerers defending. Doomed to fight but never ending. Shadows creeping, dragons flying. Phantom feels no use denying. Brothers, sisters, side by side. In this storm, there's nowhere to hide. Cosmic wrath, no gods forsaken. Fighting steel, earth is shaken. Heroes bleed but never bleeding. Victory, the only feeling. Supernovas, worlds are crashing. Thunder roars with blades they're clashing. Raising arms, no hesitation. This is war of biblical proportions.
And I could have faded that a little bit better, but I didn't. I just
That
cut
was
it right there. It
awesome.
was going damn long. Joe, how you doing tonight, man?
Good. I should be paying you for that song. That's awesome.
I'm gonna send you that for free.
I hope so.
The whole thing is 4 minutes long.
Wow.
Like
Man,
Oh.
did you when did you work on that?
this afternoon.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. You must have a whole production studio in your new place.
Yeah, I've got artists on call. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
Hey, quick, built this one out. They're just walking in
Yep.
the hallway.
Recording
It's like,
studio. Yep.
can you sing this?
Love it.
It's everyone knows how it's done now. It's no longer special.
No, I love it.
So you did I miss number 1 or
You
is this titled differently?
Yeah, no, you may have. That's why I offer the first issue again. I'm trying to remember. I could have sworn I had it on Indiegogo. I typically don't use Kickstarter too much, but it could have been on Kickstarter for all I remember. But yeah, I did release one, and then we just started working on like all our hundreds of projects, and then got around to finishing 2, and 3 and 4 are written. They just need to be worked on, but we have so many projects, and I bet a lot of people, missed the first one.
Well, I was thinking that this was like the second part to Star-Crossed crossover because there's
Yep.
Trash Man. And
Yep.
it's like
It ties together. So um, in the team up with Trashman and Starstruck, they mention what happens in this issue. So things got released out of timing because Luke wanted to put it out, and I said, "Okay, fine, let's put it out." And I said, it'll be released eventually, and then they'll be able to reference it. And what happened was, I I was actually trying to get on. I think this was in January, with Bancroft, and I couldn't get on, so I was gonna wait, and then he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not doing any like launches right now. You'll have to wait." So then I waited some more, and then it just got kind of ridiculous. And then I said, "Man, I should have just released it when I wanted to because it was done." And then, as you know, I have 13 other creators in Starcross. So then, one of them was releasing a book, and I didn't want to clash our campaigns because we're kind of pulling fans in two directions when they have a certain amount of money to spend on a campaign. So then right after that month was over, another Starcross creator was ready with their book, and another. So now it's June. Are we in June still?
We're in June. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
I'm like, man, I was going to be releasing this in January. It was done, but I have too much respect for the other Starcross creators to trample on their campaign, because then I'm not talking about their campaign. I'm talking about Bib Pro, which is what we call it for short, and I didn't want to run over them. So I was waiting for my gap, and that's now. So I said, okay, quick, launch it before someone finishes another book.
Well, that's to me almost a part of the charm of this indie market thing. Because like stuff will show up that you forgot about. It's like Christmas. I got this in the mail today.
Oh, nice.
The Valiant Heroes.
Yeah.
It's like this is
That's cool.
June 2024. This is when you don't change your cover to match your delivery.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second.
How was it?
I haven't read it yet. I
Oh,
just
okay.
got it today. I also got I can't show you anymore now. I did read that one. And it was exactly what I expected it to be. Sometimes the title actually delivers on its expectations.
Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah, but Biblical Proportions, again, mentioning all the creators in Starcross, it's all the creators in Starcross and other indie companies that I'm friends with and their characters. So that's
I noticed a lot of people in the campaign as I was pictures.
I was worried that you were going to ask me to name all the creators in the book, so I decided to write them all down. So if I was asked, I got it.
Then you're prepared. All right. Well, then you have people in the chat like, Wayne Klingman, who says to party on, and Mike Walters, who dropped in to like and share and say hi. We always appreciate that. Brittany wants to work with me. Leave Brittany alone. I don't want her working with me. That wouldn't really be work anyway. So who's involved? You prepared for the question?
Here's the list. Okay, so myself, obviously, and I created the concept, and I wrote the first issue. Second issue, this one is written by Evan David, so the creator of Black Blossom. He's the creator of Outed and Urg the Battler and Strange Tales from Eternity, and some novels that he did, and he works for Adventures in Odyssey, and he did the adaptation of the Chosen comic book. So he's got a lot of work, and he's with Starcross, and he wrote this issue, and it was drawn by Brian Dawson, colored by me, lettered by Evan David, also helped with the lettering. So the list, some of these are Starcross guys. They're in no particular order, and some people are from other companies. So there's Gabriel Dill. He's from Aspire Comics. Daniel Buck. He does Detrimony. Lee Giles, who does Godsend. There's Demon Hunter Raven. There's American Night by Rick Lozano. Some of these guys' last names I have not mastered saying. Mike Spinola, Silver Saint. Yeah, do you have a translation program? Luke Stone, who does Trash Man, is in there, obviously. Rusty Gilligan, who does the Symbol. My friend Archie Cunningham, who does Power Grip from Armored Forces. Sean Davis, who does Pillowman and Blanket Boy. Will Callaghan, who does Gun Ghoul. Uh, Black Blossom, like I mentioned. Nick Garber's Phantom Hawk and Bengali are in there. Ralph, who does Atradian Justice, he's in there too. Ken Keller does Red Talon. The Ebon Guard, that's a Starcross book by Randy Malave. James Newgan, who does Alpha Red, and Nicholas Gear does Tin Soldier, and Phantom Line by Kerry King. I think I got everyone in there. Mike Ewert has a character in there too. So yeah, a lot of characters, and there's at least 3 more characters going to be added to issue 3, and one of them is a team. So
it's crisis level proportions here. I saw Pillowman and Blanket Boy in there, and I was like, that was a concept that I really wanted to see happen, and it never quite got off the ground in funding. But
to promote Sean Davis's Pillowman and Blanket Boy, so he has 3 issues available on StarCrossComics.com, and that was the miniseries. Or I'm sorry, is it 4 issues? 4 issues, I think. No, 3 issues. 4 or 3 issues on StarCrossComics.com, and now he's doing a new one, which is the continuing adventures of Pillowman and Blanket Boy, and he told me he's going to just release it directly to the site, to StarCrossComics.com.
So throwing the link out there into the chat.
Be on the lookout for that.
Is it?
It's done. It's done. I know that. He just needs to choose a release date. Yeah, but it's even better than his previous 3 issues.
Well, he was on our show back when we had a regular show, and back 4 years ago now.
Yeah,
when he was first coming up with the idea, and I remember it was like, him and his son had just worked on this thing, and he hadn't drawn comics before. And I'm like, you hadn't drawn comics, and you're putting out this kind of level of art. This is
the art's even better now. So if you see the continuing adventures, it's even better now.
Well, let me bring up the
for sure
page. We'll start with the video because you put work into your videos. Me not so much anymore. So let's give this a play and see what we got.
Oh, no sound. I think we lost the sound. Do you hear it?
I'm going to pause
that. Yeah, no sound is coming through.
Okay, well, we're going to stop the share. I'm going to rewind it. and I know what happened. Oh. I chose the screen instead of the tab. When you choose the tab, folks, it'll automatically pick the sound. If you pick the screen, it will not. So let's try it again. There it is. Here we go.
Love it.
That's animation, folks. That's
animation
stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I caught it just in time. I'm like looking at these things, like, what the?
Yeah.
Like.
I did a YouTube show yesterday on my channel, and I was having the same thing. It's like you got all these tabs. Well, it helps if you don't have a million tabs open like I do, but I do.
Yeah.
And then I'm like looking tab. Oh, where? Hold on. I want to share. Hold on. It gets confusing.
I don't know. I just see I see all these videos at the end being called out to me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get most of them. Pimp My Comic, Rip-A-Verse stuff. Fleetwood Mac video. And then right down here at the beginning, at the very end, Jenna Ortega makes her teacher happy for A+ grades. Okay, saving that one, by the way.
Nice.
No. We're gonna reload the page so that we can re-show the page without the junk, and bring it right back. So here's
Bingo.
the campaign, folks. It is, if you are looking at the YouTube viewing of our show, it is the very first link you will see at the bottom of the page in the description. If you're watching on Twitter, it is the thing that I'm putting into the chat right now that I will put up on the screen. Although if you're on X, I feel like X is like fetch. You're never going to make X happen. Quit trying, Elon. It's Twitter. Everyone's going to call it that forever.
Funny. Yeah. Well, you worry because if you want to go on Twitter X and you hit X, you get other video, you get other sites. Probably the worst letter to use. Well, it was because he has SpaceX and all that,
Yeah. I remember back when I was married, back in the 90s when the internet was a thing that was happening. I went to work. We had just got internet installed in the house, and I told the wife how to use it. I was like, this was pre-Google, by the way. I could have told her, you go to Ask Jeeves or you go to Alta Vista, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I said, but basically, anything you want to know about, you just type that in and you put a .com at the end of it, and you're good. 90% of the time, you're going to go right to what you want to see. I came home. She's like, I think I broke the computer. You need to do something. I did something terrible with it. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, I was watching my soap opera and I wanted to get more news about it. So she went in and she typed in youngandtherestless.com.
Right.
Did not go to the soap opera.
Didn't go to that. No, don't get .com.
No, she her poor virgin eyes.
Oh man. Yeah.
I was like, so you found she thought she had destroyed the computer by downloading porn.
Wow.
Oh, that everybody still thought that. That would be what a world.
Was that with AOL? Dial up?
No, it was like with just a local internet company. You dialed into them, and then they had servers. Yeah, you dialed in.
Yeah. And, remember MySpace?
Yes.
That thing was like the glitchiest thing. People had like 100 things moving, and it would just slow down everything and
make things flash. You can make things chime.
Yeah.
Make it so busy that you get people an epileptic seizure.
Yep. Exactly.
It was crazy. So, Biblical Proportions is everybody in the Starcross universe and friends showing up. Why?
Yes. So, what happens is I guess it can be the first issue can be spoiled, because this is the second issue.
You got to give us the setup, right?
Right. So the first issue, there is an altercation at this place called the Whirlpool. It's kind of controls all the worlds, as it was like kind of the multiverse. And what it looks like is my main character, Starstruck. He's like unleashing all this havoc and fighting the heroes and smashing he's separating the worlds at this point. And you see all these characters in this fractured scene. It's a scene like people really like this double page spread in the first issue. And he's a Nephilim, but he's doing all this evil stuff, but he's a hero character. So you're wondering, why is he doing this? So the Nephilim is half angel, half human. And then he encounters one of the characters, Gungul, which is Will Callaghan's character. They fight, and he uses what he withdrew from the pool, which is this mace called Wormwood. And you're like, none of this is making sense because Starstruck is an evil and he doesn't use this, he's not after this power source. And then some characters of ours come, and they're the Ebon Guard, and they protect the world from demonic forces and stuff like that. And they're fighting him, and he wallops them. And then some other Starcross characters come to interfere, and you're getting these flashes from other comic book universes, so other non-Starcross worlds are seeing these fractures happening in their worlds. So, and even in like the White House gets like a portal opens up and like cracks open, like the press area and everything, and all these anomalies are opening up these portals. So it's like fracturing different worlds, even non-Starcross worlds. So what happens is when they all come together at the end of issue 1, somebody eventually hits Starstruck and knocks him down, and it's Starstruck, and you're like, wait, that's Star. So now there's 2 of them, and then you find out that one of them was his. It's kind of like his evil twin, and in this one, you find out where the heck did he come from. Um, and then you find out that wasn't him. That was an imposter, and he reveals himself, and he looks a little different. And
He's
then
the
you
red
realize,
guy here.
oh yeah, he's the red guy. His name's Hellsmite, and he's an ancient Nephilim. They had the same father, but he's from like ancient times, and Starstruck's from modern times. But they share the same immortal father, who's an angel, and you get to see. So there's an ancient flashback in this one, and then there's a telling on how did they bring him back to life in our modern time, and then we catch back up with the fight that happens in the first end of the first issue, and then more of the characters start flowing in, and the evil plot is revealed, and then they have to figure out how are we going to stop this, and that's what's happening in this issue. And issue 3 and 4 are written, and issue 3 has a huge twist, and issue 4 is just like a double-sized, every character fighting this huge thing, huge threat, and it's just like crazy. So
It's a neat way
where
to
we're
set
at.
it up.
Yeah,
You just basically showed that everybody's got to take on this one character that just knocked out the one character that all of them got their ass kicked by.
exactly.
So it's like, we didn't beat him. How are we going to beat you?
Yeah, and it's cool because all the characters have something to do, and they're all. My whole thing is like I treat all because I know these creators and I know their characters, so they're treated exactly how they want them to act and look and do, and everybody gets their just due, and it's pretty cool working with all the other creators, even though because when I do a scene with one of their characters featured, I send it to them. I'm like, what do you think of
Yeah.
this? And they you know 99% of the time are like, that's awesome, perfect, and then I'm good to go. I don't recall anyone ever saying like, oh, I don't like how he looks, or he wouldn't say that, or anything like that. So I think we've nailed you know all the characters.
That yeah, because every creator has their own voice for their creation in their
Yeah.
head. So you want to if you can convince the creator that their creation would say what you're putting in their mouth, you understand them.
Yep. Yeah, the first issue was actually going to be written by one of my friends, and he was just taking so long that I said, "Okay, forget it. I'm gonna write it." So I wrote the first issue, and then for the second issue, Evan David volunteered to take on the writing responsibilities, and I'm like, "Good," because I know what's happening in each issue, but it's just so much to keep track of, and you kinda get lost with all these characters, and you're trying to like tell the story, but also integrate everyone. And he said, "Oh no, I like doing that. That'll be no problem." So then I read the scripts. I'm like, "Oh, you did it. That's awesome. It didn't even seem like you stressed out about it." So
Yeah, so because the challenge for me would be with all these characters is to have them be more than just Easter eggs. It's like,
yeah,
oh look, there's this guy, oh, there's that guy, and to
exactly.
actually everyone gets their line and their moment and their contribution to the story. Um, and if you do it right, then it's like, well, if we didn't have that character, then this wouldn't have happened, and it could have all fallen apart.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a skill to it. I mean, we might not be the best of the best, but I think we made it look fluid.
Now, who's the purple guy here with the
So
electric?
he's a newer character. His name's Pentecost, and he's kind of overseeing things. I mean, he's kind of like not really, but you could picture him as almost like a watcher type character.
Yeah, he's dressed
Um,
kind of like Metron.
oh yeah, nice. Yeah, I love the Kirby stuff. Um, yeah, his character is actually a homeless person, but he used to be a superhero a long time ago.
Oh, that's
He's actually going to be featured in a team up coming up.
you got a lot of team ups in the works, don't you?
I know. I always loved so when I was in high school, I used to draw with my friend Dan, and he drew comics and I drew comics, and our thing was like, oh, this character should meet this character, and we would draw them in a story together. And that always that went followed with me, and then I would meet other people who would draw in my area, and then I'm like, oh, those are cool characters, and then we would get them to cross over, and this is how the Starcross universe came to be. So I had like, give or take anywhere from, 5 to 6 creators in my local area, and we said, "Man, we should draw comics together," and we would meet, twice a week and draw and, come up with stories, and the whole thrill was building this universe. You could have this character who's like a kid who lives in his apartment, and sometimes at night he goes out and fights crime. But think about if like this other creator who's a friend of yours has like this big, international team, and they mention your character because they're in that area, and it's like it takes your character who is maybe little and puts it on this bigger scale, and it takes their bigger scale and it grounds it, and then this other character, might be from another planet, and they might mention that planet in another book, and it makes your story that you're working on privately larger. It expands it,
Yeah,
and that's fun for me, and I totally understand how some creators might not like that because they don't want their stuff other places. But I think exposure and putting it out there and saying that these characters are real and they exist in multiple places, makes them more real and gives their world like a actual, like these worlds exist, and other characters talk about them, and that's fun for me. But I totally understand how some creators they would be uncomfortable with it.
it's almost like the way you describe it here, all that people coming together and getting your character. It's almost like you get together and you play D&D, and then
Yeah,
when you're done with the campaign, you've got a tangible product of the adventure left over that you can
exactly.
show other people
That's true.
because you're role playing with your characters.
That's right. And here, this is where the portals are. This is one example. The first issue has other examples, but this is one example on some characters that are showing the anomaly of the severing of the universes, and they're opening in front of them. Now, some things one could argue, well, why are they opening up in front of these characters? Why aren't they opening, in front of some, mom buying groceries or something like that? Well, these are orchestrated rifts that are opening, and there is another character in the book that has something to do with this. And when you read issue 1, you're kind of like, what is this all about? There's stuff in the first issue that you think doesn't fit, and there's
It's
more
also
revealed in
writing
this one.
expediency.
Mhm.
It's also writing expediency. I mean, you look back at Secret Wars, the big rift opens up in the middle of Central Park.
Mhm.
Who goes through it? Every superhero in the world apparently is flying
Right,
past Central Park
right.
at that time, like, "Hey, we better check it." At no point at the beginning of Secret Wars did, Susan and her son John,
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"What the heck is that thing?
yeah.
Let's take a look at it," and fall through into this battle. No, just the
Yeah.
super people. They
So, yeah, there is something controlling these things, kind of controlling almost reality, and there's a bit of the reveal in this issue, and then you start going, "Oh, I see what's going on." So there's actually a even higher element going on than just Hellsmite and his plans. There's something else. So there's multiple threats going on in this story, and there'll be another threat in the third issue, and then a huge threat. So there's a lot of red herrings that still have to do with the story, but you're like, oh yeah, I know what's happening. They're fighting this guy. Well, are they? Oh, okay, now I know. Now it's about this. Well, you didn't see this coming, and then you didn't see what's happening in issue 4. So it all comes together. So when you read the whole thing all together, you're gonna be like, oh wow, yeah, I didn't see any of this happening. I wasn't ready. I didn't know they were gonna go. I thought it was cut and dry, 1, 2, 3, and then I didn't know they're gonna flip this and do this, and yeah.
I love
Hey, James.
this scene here at the bar at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
Because like there's Blanket Boy, clearly not of drinking age,
Right? He's drinking milk.
Yeah, he looks so out of feels. He looks like he feels out of
Yeah.
place in this bar.
So 2 characters in that scene, they took the tier from the last campaign that said draw your character in the next issue. So they're in here. I forget their names right now, but I give them credit in the book. But so I have that tier available again. So if you want your character drawn in the book, you can get that tier.
I need to get a character. I've actually got a character now. I could do that.
Awesome. I'd love to. But yeah, that bar scene is cool. I wanted to have, a strategy scene where they all get together and like, okay, what are we going to do? What's happening exactly? Who are you guys? Like nobody knows each other, so everyone's getting to know each other and they're trying to strategize. And I'm like, they need a safe zone, and this bar, this tavern, is kind of outside, like it moves around. Think of what was the House of Mystery, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So think of that. I always thought it was cool to have like a building that kind of moves around. So that's what this is. The bartender is actually another character. He is in his secret identity right now, and he is revealed in this issue. So you find out who the bartender is, and yeah.
I see Gungool is passed out on the table.
You're right. He is. He gets his comeuppance, or he gets his retribution. In issue 3, he plays a big part in their victory.
Is that Thor's hammer hanging on the wall?
Yeah.
There?
So that's actually a creator that I know, and his character is called the Christian, and he has this hammer with this cross on it, and he does a lot of artwork here and there, and he didn't get in the book, but I wanted to give a little tribute to him, so I put his character's hammer on the wall. I have some other foreshadowing on the wall of characters you're going to see.
I said the portrait in the back is too detailed to be just mere background material.
Exactly. But yeah, there's going to be some cool scenes. I can't wait. Issue 3 is going to introduce some stuff, and some characters that are very well known are going to be in the third issue. I just couldn't put them in this one because it was all ready to go. But yeah, I can't wait to do that. It's going to be pretty cool. A lot of stuff people aren't expecting.
Well, let's take a look at some of the items that they can get here. Obviously, your featured tier is the catch-up tier because, a lot of people...
I figured that made sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because people are like, issue 2, huh? What is this? And it's like, well, I'll make that the featured, my recommendation.
Yeah, and you'll get a print copy of 2, and you'll get a print copy of 1, $20. So it's which is about half off of what you would normally pay for any comic in crowdfunding these days. Although I have noticed the price is starting to come down as people figure out how to estimate their costs.
Some I always try to be modest, but I try not to undercut also. But I've seen some campaigns that I want to support, like the creator, like the book, go to their campaign. I'm like, what? It's kind of and I don't know if they're just getting raw deals from their printer or I understand things rack up. Sometimes they offer certain tiers that are just going to be too price. It's just gonna be a headache in shipping and whatnot. So I try to think ahead. I try not to offer things that are gonna just rack the shipping price up. I try to make it, things that can, fit in a diamond mailer. Um, I love doing t-shirts, but t-shirts are so pricey. And then you figure the shipping is going to be extra big because now it's not a t-shirt's not going to fit in a diamond mailer. So now you
Yeah,
got to ship it in a box, you know?
not
Um,
necessarily.
no, you got a solution?
Yes, we ship
Excellent.
T-shirts all the time. Now
Perfect.
this is not representative because this is a box.
Oh, yeah.
But, you get these sealed envelopes. You can get them 13 by 10. You can put your diamond mailer, your Meet Gemini mailer, whatever, right down
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there, and then you fold the t-shirt and you slide it in on
Slide
top.
it
Seal
in.
it up,
I
and
figured you'd have a solution. I should have asked you to begin with.
we got you covered.
Nice.
You can actually get envelopes in different sizes. I like to use
All
the
right.
ones that are a
Well,
little
I'm
bit
back
bigger.
on
But
t-shirts then. I'm back on
yeah,
t-shirts.
back on t-shirts, I'll tell you I'll tell you the appropriate envelope size to get because it's actually a little bit bigger than a 13 by 10. There's like a 15 and a half by 12,
Yeah,
which I try to use all the time now. The 13 by 10s are snug on a Gemini mailer. So there's like no wiggle room for like
yeah,
a fat
exactly.
Gemini mailer.
Yep,
You can make them fat. Those creases, those are just suggested places. You can put more on there if
that's
you
true.
need to thin that Gemini.
Yep.
Um,
I got a huge box of Geminis in my basement that they're all flat, They're pretty
oh,
big when they're unflattened. They take up a lot
yes.
of space.
Well, yeah, you should see how much space 14 cases have been taken
Oh,
up.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
it's it's crazy, but
And you just
I do
moved,
want to
so
show support.
you had to find space for all your boxes.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. I moved out of one room into
Yeah.
5 rooms,
Okay.
and I ran out of room. I'm like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
like I moved out of the TARDIS or something. Like,
Wow.
how did I have all of this stuff in one room?
You
And
should do like a tour video of your like packaging process and all that.
no one wants to
No.
see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
It's but it's like the weird thing is that the place I moved into is right next door to where I was, so it's a mirror image of the entire layout.
Oh,
So the bedroom right across from me here, the front spare bedroom, that was the mirror of mine. I ostensibly should have been able to put my entire house into that room and have all these rooms empty, but
oh,
no,
yeah.
it doesn't work that way.
Wow.
Guys, if you want to just show support, here is the obligatory. Hey, here's a buck. I don't want a comic, but I want you
Exactly.
guys to succeed. 11 people have said go do that. One of them wants you to contact them for support on how to really sell your campaign. I
Yeah.
know they get them all. Here's
Oh, that's
$1.
all the
Ooh.
time. Those sales people.
Yeah, we've got a Kickstarter up right now.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your
And
Fables one?
no,
No,
we
no,
didn't
wait.
kickstart that one. That's
Oh,
straight publishing.
oh, that's awesome.
That's
No,
on
it looks
Amazon.
it looks great, by the way.
Well, we I didn't list the authors on that one, but we have 2 guys you might know. You might have
Okay.
heard of Bill Willingham has a story in this book,
Okay.
uh, and Alan Dean Foster has a story in this book.
Hmm.
So
Maybe I should know
he
these.
wrote something back in the
Recommend my
70s called Star Wars.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah, so he's been around.
Well, the cover looks awesome. So,
The one we've got up on Kickstarter right now is Colors Not Included,
oh,
which is an exclusive version of this hardcover book right here.
oh,
Um,
okay. Is it a coloring book or it's just kind of looks like it?
it
Oh, it's
is
black
a
and white.
coloring book.
Wow.
Yeah, take yeah, take down your thing
There you
because
go.
this is my channel now.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
but yeah, it's a coloring book of comic covers from another universe. These comic covers
Oh, okay.
don't exist anywhere else. And the thing is that the text on the side here kind of ties them together. So when you
Oh,
read the coloring book, you'll be like, wait a second, I've seen this character mentioned on another one of these comics.
oh,
There
wow.
is actually a narrative that threads through this thing while you're coloring
So
sexy
you had
sci-fi
to
bits.
invent like 100 like not non-real.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's a lot of
yes.
work.
George Peter Gatzis did all the artwork for this. And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said, let's turn it into comic covers.
But you
And he
came
said,
up with
hey,
the
RJ,
concept?
well, it's George's concept, really. He's the
Oh,
one who
okay,
said,
okay.
"Hey, come up with a blurb for each one." So I started just thinking, well, if this was in a Diamond previews catalog, what would I say about it?
Okay.
And just by looking at the cover, and I started giving them characters names and backgrounds, and yeah, and I was like,
Not
well,
easy.
I couldn't do 85 unique ones. I'm like,
Oh,
well, this character looks a lot like the character we just had. So we have I've got to find it now. We have an agency called Hell.
mhm.
HELL. It's an acronym.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time one of the women with wings was on there, she was one of the agents of Hell, like Double O Heaven. Um, and Hell stands for Heaven's Espionage Lower Levels.
Okay.
So they're angel spies,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no story. We just give you the summary. It's
You
like
came up with that.
we're
Mhm.
teasing you with like, I'd really like to read that story. Now, this is what's on Kickstarter right now in an exclusive edition. What makes it exclusive, because this one you can get on Amazon, is that there are more pages to color and they're all anime style. So you've got your
Oh,
sci-fi babes and now you've got anime babes added in there as an exclusive. Plus, there's a trading card involved if you get the right level.
love
Um,
trading cards.
so, if you go to Kickstarter and look up Critical Blast, you will find our stuff. But this show is about Joe Spicer's Biblical Proportions #2 and #1. How many pages is this book, by the way? Is this like your standard 22
Um,
pager, or are you making it thicker? Or
you know, I think it is 32 pages.
that's a nice size.
I can double check.
Probably even says on the campaign here
It might
somewhere.
be 28 pages. Let me double check here. So it is no, yeah, it's 32 pages.
32 pages. That's a good size.
Right. I should have listed that on there so they know what they're getting. I may
It's
have. I
chock
don't
full of so many
remember.
characters that people don't really care about the pages at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, but I should have put that it's 32 pages. That's a good point. I might be able to still edit that, but sometimes they don't let you.
Well, you can edit the main site here. You can't edit any of the tiers
Okay.
once somebody has claimed something. If they haven't claimed it yet, you can do whatever you want with it.
Oh, okay.
Once somebody's claimed it, they're like, nope, you're locked in.
That makes
The only
sense.
thing you can do then is delete the tier, fulfill it, and make a new one that's like it with the extra information.
Okay.
So you can get this in digital for $5, not
Yeah.
bad. $10, which is pretty much what we determined, when we saw the $20 catch up. And then
The variant.
variant covers, the bane of my existence
Right?
as a filler, because it depends on how many variants there are. But wow,
Exactly.
when there's a lot of them, you've really got to know which one is which.
I mean, even in the comic store that I go to, I just want to get a certain book and they're like, well, there's 10 variant covers. I'm like, okay, how many do you have? Oh, we have like 3 of them. The other one's sold out. So the good ones are gone.
Yeah,
And then you
the good ones.
buy
Well,
one.
that's okay. The good ones were like $50 anyway.
Yeah, and then you buy one and then you find out what all the other covers look like. You're like, well, now I don't even like the one I bought.
Yeah, of course not. Remember when Justice League put out 51 or 52 different covers, and it was nothing but the Justice League hoisting up a flag, and the flag was whatever state of the union it was,
What?
plus Puerto
I don't
Rico.
remember that. I remember when they
Oh,
did the villains one. I remember when they did the no logo, no title.
I yeah. Oh, and that's a rare one too. I think that's the one I've actually got.
Mm.
Um, it was Justice League of America, and I forget when they did this one.
Okay.
Um,
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I've got
Okay,
several of them here. I'm just going to open it in a new tab
for sure.
and share this tab instead. And
I
there it
don't
is. There's
remember
one.
that. I mean, I know that scene, the what they're going off of, but I don't remember
Yeah,
that one.
and it was the same characters every single time. Uh,
Really?
yeah, it was just like here. I'll bring up a different one. And now that I've said stop sharing, I've actually got to
Right.
share the thing
I'm
again.
gonna mute myself while I sneeze and blow my nose.
There we go. There's the one. If you were in California, you could get them hoisting the California flag.
That's funny. Oh,
And you think about it, it's
man.
like it was just photoshopped in, right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. They did every state?
they did every single state
I never
plus
heard of that.
territories.
Wow.
So there are more than 50 copies of this book out.
So it
And,
reminds me of the Winter Soldier movie where Captain America's list changed for every like country, like the things he was catching up with from
yes,
being in the ice. Yeah.
it's it was crazy. And the thing was that, like, I was in Illinois at the time, and you
Sorry
couldn't
about
find
that.
the Illinois flag. It was I think I picked up the Arkansas flag just because we'd moved from Arkansas. I was like,
That's funny. When I went to Stonehenge, they have all those flags lined up.
yes.
I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I get to see like what every flag looks like. It's kind of neat."
Very cool. Want to remind everybody that the top of the hour is coming up here, and if you're looking for more niche news, comics and anime and professional wrestling related, do hop over to the mic stand. Give Mike Walters a like and a subscribe. You'll interesting content. And then, of course, on Fridays, we do the historic comic retrospective with Mike. Sometimes I'm the guest on there, sometimes it's somebody else. We are reading Golden Age comic books online with voices and sound effects. It's like
Awesome.
radio theater, but with colored panels. So it's a lot of fun. I always enjoy when I go on there and do that.
I gotta check that out.
So this variant cover, who's your artist on this variant cover? I like this, by the way. This is reminding me of the 80s DC 70s.
I know, that's what I was going for. So I usually come up with a concept for the covers or the layouts, but that is drawn by Mark V. On online he goes by MK Odinson. He rarely uses his real name, but he's working on a ton of projects for us right now.
Yeah, that's a sweet looking cover.
He also did the variant of the first issue cover also.
Okay. You can get a digital plus, which is for $15. You will get a digital copy of this and number one and United number one, standing in the light. And wait a second. Oh, digital team up number one is not.
Yep.
That's the Starcross team up.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
I was kind of trying to abbreviate it.
Yeah, because it doesn't wrap very well. I get that.
Yeah.
And if you want printed copies, well, this is like your retailer tier now here. If you want
Exactly. So somebody asked me for that specifically. So I said, okay, I'll add it. I mean, if they wanted that. So I said, okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me add it.
Well,
and you
question on this is that this is number one.
Oh, that should say number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to change that. Or maybe I can't now.
Nobody's claimed it yet.
Okay, I'm going to change it.
You can change it.
So I literally just added that today. Somebody wrote me and they said, "Hey, can you have a bigger quantity because they want to order more, but they didn't want to order it that many times for like the shipping would keep racking it up."
Sure.
So I added that, and that was my first time doing a like a bulk tier. So apparently I made a typo right there.
Made an oopsie. And then for the $100, this is $50, by the way, for 10 copies. That's just $5 a copy.
That's right.
So you're getting, you can keep 2 of them and and give the rest of them away.
That's right.
It won't hurt your pocketbook that much. Now for $100, you can get your character drawn in the issue.
That's right.
Boy, am I tempted.
For sure.
I mean, Sensei Nosferatu Pak has got to get some exposure.
Awesome.
In this world, and it might be the place to do it.
Yeah. It's all about, people that I know and, people I respect, I love featuring their character, having them interact. It's just cool. It's just fun, and that's what this book is. And, I just feel it's like a really fun, you know, when you watch, say, like Infinity War or Endgame, you know why it's cool. All the
Yeah.
characters there that you love, having a big battle.
Everybody in the big fight. Now, there's no images on here of the extras, the tchotchkes and such, but you do list
You
that
know,
they will be there.
I did create them. I don't know. So some of these are on the sidebar on the right. Yeah, they should all be on the right. Are they not? Oh, is this because they're add-ons?
The
Man,
add-on, yeah, you get
so
the
the
trading
add-ons.
card and the art
Okay,
prints.
yeah. So I'll post the images. That's a good point. Thanks for noticing that. I will post that.
Because people love art prints. They just want to see what they look like before they buy them.
Exactly.
I thought they
Exactly.
were going to be like
Well, the art prints
Dreadful.
is a tier. It should be on the right bar. Maybe you keep going down.
Oh, this is the last
Or
one.
wait, was the last one go up once?
Go up one. That's the hard
Keep
copies.
going. There.
Digital
Right
Plus.
there, right there, right there.
Okay, this is the digital one.
Oh, you're right. That is the digital one. You're right. I don't have it.
variant
It
cover.
was similar. It was similar to that image because there were a bunch of prints. Okay, I'll have to put it on that line right there because I have the images.
Yeah, we'll get nice big pictures that way of them.
Exactly.
Especially the holofoil trading card.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely add
it took
that.
a while to look at this. We're getting recommendations for other things on Indiegogo too. Legs, bums, and tums. That's okay. Indiegogo has a lot of stuff on it.
Man.
So this took a while
everyone's
to get
always
out.
torn between Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Which one is better? Which one is gonna, and I might do Kickstarter too. I'm just to catch the people who didn't notice this
The answer
one.
is Fund My Comic.
That's true.
That if you had the choice between the two, it's
That's true.
option 3. So you mentioned how long this took between 1 and 2. That people forgot that 1 kind of existed. Do you have a timeline to get to number 3 and 4? I mean, it's 4 issues long, right?
Correct. So they're both written 3 and 4. And once this funds and we ship them out, then we can start production on issue 3. So it kind of is, as soon as one is finished and out the door, we can start working on the next one because, it costs money to make the next one.
Yeah.
So most of our funds always go towards the next issue.
It's weird that way that the printers want money to print.
Yeah. The artists,
you're at 216.
colorists,
You've gone to 320
awesome.
since the show started. So
thank you guys.
That merits a shake and bake moment here. And this should be easier for me to find than what it is.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
So whoever in the chat decided to help, we appreciate you. It might not have been any of y'all, but if it goes up during the show, we take credit for it.
Nice. Where's the dancing bird?
I'm not a dancing bird guy.
I know.
Shake and bake, because I thought about the dancing bird as my sort of a trick thing.
But that trick never worked.
This time for sure.
Oh, I've got a million of them. But they don't.
That's awesome.
They don't always. I've got all these clips over here. I'm like, I'm gonna find a place to use this sometime. And
exactly.
It's
now
never...
how does that work? Because I was using clips because I figured I could, and then I got a copyright strike on one of my YouTube videos, and I'm like, are you serious? It was like a clip.
Yeah.
What's the rules?
2 seconds. The rules are if the person who owns the clip doesn't like the fact that you used it. YouTube says any length is illegal.
Okay.
There's like 15 seconds of that's how long it takes the algorithm to find something.
So it's the length.
Yeah, the length helps, but honestly, if the people who own the copyright to Laugh-In were to tune in and
suck it to me,
they might say, "Hey, that's our content." strike.
Yeah, I just didn't know the rules. I found all these awesome clips, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be really cool. I think I've seen other people use clips where they kind of montage where they're altering it, and they're like the
Yeah,
sound doesn't match the visuals, so they're doing kind of their own thing with it. They're kind of retooling it, and I don't know if that allows them to get away with it, but like,
does. I don't know. I just figured, I've even got some that go together, but unless we're talking about certain things in comics, it doesn't. I very si- I love going through my clips because I never get a
yeah.
chance to play
I'm
them.
like, what comic books are you reading?
I love that.
Horrible woman she is.
That was great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love back to backing those things.
I love it. I
And of
love
course,
it.
when your internet goes out and you drop off the show and you leave me here by myself,
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
and I just saved them. I've quit putting them on there because StreamYard said, "Hey, you got too many." I'm like, "Really?
Yeah.
You're limiting me?" Okay.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's a fun way to end the show. Just laugh at
Yeah.
some real fast little clips. I'm waiting to have a show. I'm waiting to have a show on sometime where the guest is named Jane.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I'm sure Jane would love that clip.
I bet she would. Why wouldn't she? We can get into an argument and I can just go.
Right.
Anyway, Joe, been fun talking with you about your
Awesome. I
comic here.
appreciate it. Yeah, check out the campaign. It's an awesome book. Just to support all these indie creators, we owe it to them to get their stuff out, get their characters seen. A lot of these characters are characters you've seen before, and they're all friends of mine, not necessarily in Starcross, but I support them, and it's just fun. You can check out Starcross Comics to follow the rest of these characters' stories that are in Starcross.
Hit it up. The link is at the bottom of the description here. And just once more for the folks out there on X, it's biblical-proportions-2. I know you can't just pause the video right now,
Right.
and just type it in. You'll be fine.
Maybe you could run the video for an ender. The animation video.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that right now. So everybody in the chat, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys.
Have a show without you. So here we go once more with the biblical proportions. Make sure I'm sharing the tab. I think I am.
Mhm.
Here we go.